But could you tell us a bit more about nature conservation? I mean, in our private conversations, you've always mentioned how it seems that very few people are actually aware of what to do and what not to do when it comes to wildlife in general. Not even wildlife, even everyday animals, if I can call them that, such as snakes, which, I mean, maybe there's someone outside of Botswana watching. No, we don't ride lions to work and all that kind of jazz, but snakes are kind of common depending on the season. But your approach is that killing them shouldn't be the answer. Well, killing every single one that you see and stuff like that. So if you could elaborate on that, that would be great.
Yeah. I don't know how many hours you've got. Let's go to snakes. The general perception, belief, if you wish, in Botswana is that if you see a snake, you kill it. You don't ascertain whether it's poisonous or harmless. You kill it because it's a snake, simply because it's a snake. In my small environment here at Kgaswe, I'm trying to educate students and everybody, the workers here as well, by the way, that you don't kill a snake. You either capture it or move away from it. They are very poisonous snakes. I'm sure that we all should be very careful of them. The cobras, yes, they are, but they wouldn't chase you, as people would say. The snake that one really needs to be afraid of here, and we don't see that many of them, is the black mamba. They are very fast, and they are snakes that if they bite you, your chances of survival are not very good. But 99% of the snakes that are killed are basically harmless. Because we live in Botswana, snakes are common. In my yard, I've picked up puff adders, I've Mozambican spitting cobras, and I would never kill them. You capture them. And it's not that difficult for an inexperienced person. If you've got a wall and you put your dustbin against the wall, they will invariably climb in there. You just flip it over and they can't get out. And you put the lid on and go and drop it somewhere else. Because we've got the bush close by, we can do that. My gardener the other day came to me very proudly saying that he'd killed the snake that caught my birds. My birds hadn't been caught, by the way. And it was a Kalahari sand snake. It's about 35 centimeters long, totally harmless. The teeth are rudimentary. And he was very upset that I was upset because I was livid to see this harmless little snake being killed because it's the enemy. A lot of education needs to happen as far as nature conservation is concerned in this country. And I can start from the very beginning, but I mean, that's just one example. Thank goodness Botswana has got large game reserves. Yeah. Thank goodness for that, because more and more we see that outside those game reserves, our wildlife is being decimated. And I'm not talking about kudu and eland and impala. I'm talking skunks, bat-eared foxes, rabbits. We don't have rabbits, hares, being killed by packs of village dogs. And you don't see them anymore. In 1993, when I visited Botswana for the first time, you still saw roadkill, skunks and bat-eared foxes and mongooses. But you don't see them anymore because they've all been killed by specifically the village dogs, these packs of dogs that the young guys go out into the bush and then kill everything else. Thank goodness, as I say, we have the sanctuaries, and these animals are there aplenty, which is absolutely wonderful.
Oh, that's great. So what tips and tricks, what advice would you give to the common man listening to this podcast on how he can make his little small impact in the land of nature conservation? Would it be not to kill snakes, or is there something more practical?
Well, I wish I could say to everybody, read, and find out about these animals. But before you decide to kill any animal, scorpion, spider, snake, whatever it is, because those are the small things that come into our houses and are around in our yards, think before you just kill it.
Of course. Yeah.
Try to capture it if possible. If it's a scorpion, first make sure what kind it is, because there are two kinds. The ones with the thick tails and the small claws are the poisonous ones. The ones with the big claws and the thin tails are not that poisonous. But those you can always coax into a waste paper basket with a piece of paper and flip it into the waste paper basket and go and let it go in the bush. Be aware of the small things. Don't just kill to kill. Whenever somebody comes and says that they've got bees in their house, the first thing is, eradicate them, kill them. Yes, they can be dangerous. We all know that. But first find out whether there isn't somebody around that can come and capture them before you take them away. We all know that the bee has been declared the most valuable being on this earth.
Absolutely.
If there were no bees in this world, we would not be here, because nothing would be pollinated and we would not have food to eat, and especially if we chose to be vegan.
Oh, yes.